So this is a Q&A time while you're eating. There's 4 questions in here. The first question, there will be a retreat in a few weeks. Can you please provide more information in regards to format and what to expect? What to expect from the retreat? I think we expect from you. What you expect from us? We expect you to get enlightened. So, don't ask what the country can do for you. Ask what you can do for the country. Okay, now, in a retreat, the retreat will be on the 24, 25, 26. Originally, I thought it's 25, 26, 27, but the retreat, the 3 days retreat will be 24th, 25, and 26, just in the Christmas time. But you still can enjoy the Christmas snow in the garden. And we'll put on some lights for you so that you won't miss the lighting at night. What we do is, during the 3 days, there will be 15 devotees flying from Hong Kong. They would like to come here to observe and to perform, and we will perform the ceremony for them for the observance of the 8 precepts. You can also observe the 8 precepts during these 3 days. One of these 8 precepts, abstaining from killing, abstaining from stealing, abstaining from sexual conduct per se, not just sexual misconduct. Even husband and wife, you cannot come together in these 8 precepts. And abstaining from intoxicants, abstaining from lying, fabrication, plus 3 more, abstaining from bodily ornaments. You cannot put a ring or diamonds or jewelries. Abstaining from entertainment, like you can't watch television, you can't listen to your karaoke or your iPod, and nothing like that. You stay away from entertainment. No newspapers, no TV, no listening to the stock market, nothing like that. And also abstaining from enjoying the luxury of a bed or the luxury of your own home. In your home, you have soft pillows, soft blankets, you adjust your heat, and you make sure that you are in the luxury, whatever that luxury is, to what degree, it depends on how you do it, of your own home. No, you don't have that. You just have a bed enough for you to turn around, and not colorful paint, no colorful soft pillows, or pillow assistance. Some people need pillows under the elbows or under their knees, all this kind of thing. Nothing like that. And last but not least, you cannot eat after the nautical noon. In other words, only 2 meals, 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. The 8 observance of the 8 precepts is as close to the Sangha's life as a layman would adhere to. So if you're a layman and you want to know how much can I do in order to be as close as to the Sangha's life, that's what it is. It's not that difficult. If you are used to the 8 precepts, you can almost say you can be ordained. Just add another 255 to it, and then you get it. Yeah. Anyway, what is the format of it? What do you put in it? Well, in the morning we get up at 4:30 in the morning, and we do our morning lessons at 5 o'clock. And from 5 to 6 we have the morning lesson. The morning lesson, we have English translation, but the only difficulty to you is the mantra, the Surangama mantra, because it's so long. Even if you read the translation, the transcription is quite difficult for you to follow. When you just meditate, that's the long section is the mantra. All the others, there's translations for it, so you won't miss a thing. all throughout there will be English translations. So we do our morning lessons, and then after that, what we do is a whole series of meditation, prostration, recitation of Amitabha Buddha, and it's quite simplified. And then in the lunch, we have lunch, and then after that, we have breaks in between. We have no talking. In other words, you don't talk. Right in the meditation, right in the break, you can talk, but then you can't talk in the 3 days. We have to maintain the silence. So if you want to get away from the hustle bustle of holiday season around you, you can come for this retreat. You really have to register. If you want to observe the 8 precepts, you have to live in here, but we don't have a lot of residents, empty. So you really have to, we only can take about 10 because we already have 15 from Hong Kong. They already requested for a year ago. They wanted to come here and register a year ago, so we can't turn them down. So we allow 15 vacancies to be filled by the Hong Kong Commerce, and then there's another 10 that we can have, the locals can use up the other 10 vacancies. But if you don't want to live in here, you can come at 9 o'clock. You still can, you don't have to join the morning lesson. You don't have to join from 5 to 7. The whole program is from 5 to 7 p.m. You can come at 9 o'clock and you can leave at 5 o'clock, or you can come for half a day. But it's advisable to come more. So what do you expect from this program? Do you expect to be away from home for a while and stay in the temple, do your meditation, do your recitation, the mantra? It may be helpful for you. Plus, if you don't live in here, it's flexible. You can come for half a day. But make sure you register so that we know who come and who don't come. Or make sure that we have enough food in the afternoon. It's good to register. And also it's good to put down, I can come half a day every day. You say half day every day, or 3 hours every day, or 4 hours every day. If you have a packed program during the Christmas season, then you say, I come for 2 hours. Then you can come for 2 hours. Make sure that you keep silence when you walk into the meditation hall. We'll be at the back. We don't do it here. We don't do it in the main gracious hall. We do it at the back building, the one that we just meditate in. So that answers the question. Register with Natalie and put down how many hours or how many days. If you live in here, you really have to register for a space. And if you live in here, you can't sleep in. You have to get up at 4:30. We'll make sure that you wake up. We'll send someone to lock your door. Yeah. Okay. Next question. As you say, a lot of paradoxes exist in Buddhism, so there are also lots of questions and yet no questions. I would again like to thank you for your teaching and for such a wonderful opportunity to hear the Dharma and experience some aspects of temple life. Yeah, that is your karma. It is your karma, it is your causality that you have an opportunity to come here, that you come here and you enjoyed it, or it gets into your mind that that is something that you are interested in. There are a lot of people who just pursue something different. What they want is just, they want a good car, a good house, a good job. Everything they're chasing for is materialism. Now you are chasing, what you're looking for is spirituality, something different from everyday life. You're asking yourself philosophical questions like, where do I come from? Where do I go after I die? And how come the world is like this? You're questioning. You're arousing all these philosophical questions in you. In other words, you're trying to dig into your wisdom well. And there are people who are always egoistic, who are always dig into the well of the riches. And sometimes if they do it the illegal way, they suffer from dire consequences. So, the fact that, yes, thank you for the temple, yes, but also you should thank yourself for what you have done in the past. You must have sown some seeds that would qualify you for pursuing a spirituality in your life. You have those seeds in you, in your alaya consciousness. And those seeds are already there. However, you have to water them. You have to make sure that they survive, make sure that they grow. And if they grow faster and faster, who knows, you may not have to go through reincarnation again. You may transcend samsara. It's difficult, but a lot of people have achieved it. A lot of Buddhas have, a lot of Bodhisattvas have, a lot of Arahats have, a lot of Sotapanna, Sakritagami, Anagami, they have transcended samsara. Remember the 4 levels of Arahatship. The first level, Sotapanna, 须陀洹, 出国. The second level, Sakritagami, 悉陀含. The third level, Arahant, Anagami, and the third level, Arahat. So you can go through these different levels. If you arrive at the first level, Sotapanna, you have already gotten rid of some of your ego, and you only reincarnate 7 lives. And you won't go into the 3 vicious realms anymore. What are these 3 vicious realms? Hell, ghost realm, and animal realm. You don't go through them anymore because you have already eliminated a certain part of your ego in your practice. But you still have to come 7 times approximately to practice more before arriving at Arahatship. Of course, the second level, you only come back 1 time. The third level, you don't even come back to the world of desires. You are in Rupa Dhatu. There you're meditating until you get enlightenment. So there's so many ways, so many practices to achieve enlightenment. I hope that your seeds will grow. I hope that you will plant more seeds in it. You are pursuing something of the highest wisdom. You're pursuing prajna. You're not pursuing materialistic lifestyle. Where can you get your happiness from? From a materialistic lifestyle? From material? No, you get your happiness from the peace of mind. It does not matter how much money you have, how much reputation, you name it. If you don't have that peace of mind, you don't get your happiness. So Buddhism will help you to achieve happiness at the present life level, and in your next life, you may transcend samsara, transcend life and death. That's exactly what the Buddha is looking for 2,600 years ago. He looked for a way that transcends samsara. No more life and death, no more suffering, not only for himself, for all sentient beings. And he found a way. He found a way, and that way has been passed down to us. But how many people learn it, relatively speaking, because of karma? Because of karma that not many people achieve it. Okay, next question. Would it not be better to be reincarnated into a life of suffering to recognize the true nature of samsara? So what he's saying is, it may be better to reincarnate into a life of suffering, because if I suffer, then I know the suffering, then I know how to get away from suffering. You are right. If you were born in the heavens, you only enjoy happiness. You forget about suffering and you will not learn Buddhism. You would keep on enjoying and enjoying. So there's a danger in going to heaven. Heaven can wait, but don't go there. Don't go there. So there's a danger in going to heaven. If you go to heaven, you enjoy happiness only, you won't learn Buddhism. But in this present life, you are suffering, and it's good. Remember the Buddha, the first, when the Buddha turned the first Dharma wheel, what did he preach? What did he promote? The Four Noble Truths. suffering, the causes of suffering. There's ways to stop suffering, and nirvana. If you can stop suffering, you go to nirvana. The Four Noble Truths. The Four Noble Truths is extremely important. That's the first sermon of the Buddha in Benares, preaching to the 5 ascetics about suffering. It sounds so simple. We all suffer, but do we know we are suffering? Some people don't even know we are suffering. Some people say, I'm okay, I'm good. How are you doing? I'm fine. Every day is that I'm fine. But death is approaching. You're running with time. It's ticking. You're going to that destination we call death. We are. But people are still enjoying themselves. Doing what? You name them. Entertaining themselves with ways that are full of mental afflictions. And some of them even committed a lot of sins, a lot of crimes, a lot of actions that would induce more suffering. So if you know suffering, it's good. If you know suffering, then you analyze suffering, you know the nature of suffering, you want to get away from suffering, you learn the method to get away from suffering, you get to nirvana. It's good. So your question, it sounds a little bit of stupidity in saying that you want to come back to suffer, but no, on the other hand, you say, it's good, better than in heaven. Of course, we don't say that because this world is better than heaven, I will do everything to be in this world. I don't want to be qualified for heaven, so I do all the bad deeds so that I don't have to go to heaven. That's not right. There are people, there are sentient beings in heaven who also learn Buddhism. But the proportion is not as high as in here, because they only enjoy happiness. Okay, what are your thoughts next question, what are your thoughts on being an organ donor after one's death? Also, should there be a waiting time before doing this? We already mentioned this a few times. According to the sutra, a lot of sutra mention there should be at least waiting for 7 days before the alaya consciousness left the body. And some sutras say 8 days, but 8 days is more conservative, 7 or 8 days. So if you die, and then if the organ has to be immediately taken out, you may suffer from the pain, and because you suffer from the pain, you could be furious. You may be extremely uncomfortable. That would affect the RAM of where you are going. So it's much better to be after 7 or 8 days before the organ should be taken out. But usually the doctors say if you wait for so many days, the organ is not functioning anymore. It's useless to get it. So I leave that to you. According to the sutras relating to the Bardo stage, when a person dies, there's 49 days he could be in the Bardo stage. There's 7 or 8 days before he leaves the body. He could still stay in the body. So he could still listen, he could still have the feeling. So if you take the organ out immediately, it may affect the feeling of the person who passed away. So, there should be a lot of study concerning that. We're not discouraging people from donating organs, but you really have to consider all this. Last time I talked about that wooden carvings in there. There are 3 lines. I already have finished the first line. Let me just finish it very quickly so that you know what is the meaning of that board. 积功多少量比来处. Take food according to how much merit you have earned, and consider whether you really deserve what you are eating. Consider where from and how this meal finally comes to your table, and do not take for granted that it should be offered to you. In other words, especially if you are a Sangha member, if you don't practice, every day you stay in the temple, you eat in the temple, and you don't practice, we should be ashamed of ourselves taking food for granted that it should be given to you. If you're a layman, of course, you would put your donations so that you don't depend on other people to donate the food for you. You do that, but for the Sangha members, they must practice in order to eat this kind of food. So that's you have to take food. So every time when we're eating food, how can we talk all the time? Because you have to contemplate about how much merit you have. Do I deserve eating this? This is free to me. I can eat it, but should I eat it? I'm not going to accept any gratuity without any reason. Why would I accept gratuity without any reason? If I accept anything from you without a reason, I will have to pay you back. If not this life, could be my next life. I don't want that kind of debt, invisible debt. I don't want to owe you anything. If you owe anybody any money, you have to repay it. If you don't repay it in this life, you'll repay it in your next life. So I'm not going to borrow any money from anybody without repaying it. I've seen many examples like that. If you owe someone money, if you think you can walk away with it, you said, no, I haven't signed any promissory note. You gave me $20,000 because you helped me out. I didn't sign any note. Or your dad gave it to me, and now he passed away, and now you want to look out, you want to get the money back for you. I'm not going to give it to you. I just say, no, I didn't borrow any from your dad. No, I didn't. Have you got any promissory note? And the son said, no, but my dad told me that he should, after he passed away, he should use the money for funeral services, and now I only have $20,000, I need another $20,000 for the funeral service. Please repay me the $20,000. That's what my dad told me before he died. No. No promissory note. You think you can get away with it? You can never get away with it. Next life, there's so many possibilities that you have to repay. You may be his son again. You have to work and work and work to repay the $20,000. There's so many causalities in this. You can't get away. It's not arranged by God. It just comes naturally. Nobody can get away with anything. There's cause and effect. So I'm not owing anybody money. If I owe anybody money, I have to repay it. And even if you say, no, you don't have to repay me, I said, no, well, can I do some donation for you? I borrowed $1,000 from you when I was extremely poor a few years ago. Now I make my own money, and please, let me repay it. No, you don't need to repay it. Oh, can I do donation for you for $1,000? Yes, go ahead. Then I repaid it. Everything has a cost. Everything would come to an effect. Nobody can get away. So you have to calculate, am I deserve this free food given to me? All right, next. In the Cantonese language, 全己德行全缺應供. Think about your own attitude and your own conduct. How deficient you are in your practice to deserve of such meal which is freely offered to you. In other words, even if say, oh, I'm practicing, but I'm not practicing enough. I should feel remorseful if I didn't do it well. If you're always telling yourself that you should try more, you should try harder, then you feel happy eating food. So eating food, everybody has different attitude in their mind when you're eating food. Some say, what is this? I don't like this. What is that? I have better food somewhere else. That temple has better food. That temple, this kind of sweet and sour, what do you call pork, well, I don't like it. The other temple is better. You're discriminating, you're passing judgment when you're eating. Judgments that are not necessary. But for some people, you say, oh, am I qualified for this? This food is good enough for me. And if I don't practice well, maybe I shouldn't eat this kind of food. And different people have different attitude. Different people have different karma. That's why everybody's lot is different. Some people are rich, some people are poor, some people are healthy, some people are unhealthy. They're all different because why? They all have different minds. And in the Diamond Sutra, the Buddha said, the Buddha knows all the minds of sentient beings. Why? Because good mind or bad mind is a delusory mind. It's not the real mind, so the Buddha knows about your mind. So, think about your own attitude and your conduct. Do I deserve this kind of food? Third, 防心離過貪等為宗. Keep your mind pure and free from all mental afflictions, avoiding greed in particular. So in other words, when you're eating, other than all the previous two contemplation, you contemplate on, I must keep my mind pure and free from mental afflictions, especially greed. I want to stay away from greediness. Next, 正視良藥，為療形枯. Treat food as medicine for the body, not attaching to its delicacies. This is delicious. Oh, this is yucky. This is good. This is no good. You're discriminating. Today's food is not as good as yesterday. Last week was better. So what Ming is doing? Did he buy the right food? Did he put in the right salt, that right taste? Well, I'll talk to him about this. So why don't we treat food as medicine? Good or bad is for the body. Why do you have to attach to the food taste, the delicacies of it? Imagine if you have food to keep your body going. It's good enough. There's some people in this world who starve, who don't have food. Last but not least, 為成道業應受此食. And you eat not for attachment to taste, but to keep a healthy body to practice and to achieve enlightenment. So in eating, you have the 5 contemplations. So how can your mind be so busy in doing anything else? You keep these 5 contemplations. As a Sangha member, every day when we eat, we keep these 5 contemplations. Sometimes when our mind wanders away, we pull it back and keep on these contemplations. And it's difficult. Let me tell you, I'm still learning this. Because every time when I'm eating, I still discriminate. I still say, well, it tastes, doesn't that do it? I still have that mind. So I'm still learning. You see how people in those ancient days, how they learn. Immediately after meditation, in every second, they learn this. In every second, their mind stays in the right place. What do? Our minds wanders all over the place. When your mind is at home, your mind is on the television. When you're in the office, your mind is on the computer. When you're eating here, your mind is on the delicacies of the food. You know, your mind is not in the right path. How dangerous the mind is. Your mind is like a monkey. You know how a monkey jumps from one tree to another? A monkey, when he jumps to another branch, he grabs that branch, and that branch, he gets loose of that fingers and grab another branch, from branch to branch, from branch to branch. That's what our mind is all about. One branch is about greediness, the other branch is about sexuality, the third branch is about lying, the fourth branch is about stealing. We go all these branches of mental afflictions. Just as important as these 5 contemplations, every evening we do another contemplation that we chant, and this won't take long. I'll use another 2 minutes and I finished it. In the Chinese language, is 是日已過命亦隨減，而小水魚斯有何樂？大眾當勤精進，如夠頭燃，但念無常，慎勿放逸. So what does it mean? It says, the day is gone, 是日已過, the day is gone, 命亦隨減, and life dwindles accordingly, diminishes. Like fish without water, what joy is there? Like fish without water. In an aquarium, the level of the water is sinking and sinking every day until it all dries out. What joy is there? You think the fish is enjoying right there? The fish does not know that the water level is coming down. Endeavor to make good progress as if fighting a fire burning on one's head. This Gatha reminds us, you must make good progress. Fighting, like fighting a fire burning on your head. If your head is on fire, you're not going to wait. You've got to put it out. You have to practice in this life as if your head is burning. You've got to extinguish the fire on your head. Remember the impermanence of all things and do not slacken off. Every day is ticking. I've seen you for a few years already in here. In another 30 years, I don't know if you see me or I see you because everything is impermanent. People come and go. And we can't wait. We have to do something about it. It does not matter you are old or you are young. It does not matter that the old people die earlier than the young. There are many people who die at young age. So the clock is ticking. We have to learn the Buddha's teaching to get out from life and death. It's just like the fire is burning on your head. You have to put it out. All right, so that's it for today.